The South China Sea is one of the world's busiest waterways, but it's also a hotbed for global conflict.
It's not China's maritime empire.
Just like the United States, you might wish to do anything that you believe necessary on your own territory. So China is no exception.
To Australia's north, several different countries lay competing claims to parts of this body of water, and those overlapping claims mean tensions are constantly brewing. The region is believed to be incredibly rich in natural resources, holding an estimated 11 billion barrels of oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. It also accounts for 10% of the world's fisheries, making it a vital food source for hundreds of millions of people. At the same time, around 30% of the world's total shipping trade flows through here. So basically, the South China Sea is kind of a big deal. The biggest dilemma around the South China Sea is who owns what. 6 different countries bordering the ocean mass lay claims to the region, so that's China, Malaysia, Brunei, the Philippines, Vietnam and Taiwan. Most of these countries base their claims off the international law of the sea set out by the United Nations, which states that the country's territorial waters extend 200 miles off their shoreline. This is called the Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ. So for example, any oil found 200 miles off the coast of Vietnam would belong to Vietnam. Outside of this, so any further into the ocean than 200 miles, is international waters. Everyone shares that. But there's one country that doesn't believe in using the UN law to determine its claims. When the UN established the 200-mile law in 1973, China was basically like, not for us, and ignored claims made by other countries. China argues it has a historical claim to the South China Sea and set out its own boundaries. China's boundaries, which we call the 9-dash line, encompasses 90% of the South China Sea and crosses into other countries' claims to certain parts of the ocean. Now, why should Australia care? This is happening way north of us and we don't have any claims in the South China Sea. But the United States, one of our closest security allies, has wide-ranging commitments in East Asia. The US doesn't make any of its own claims to the water, but several of its allies border the region. This has led to growing tensions between the US and China in recent years.
We are not naive about these tensions, these pressures, these issues. And that is not the suppression or the containment of any one state. It's about the productive and strategic balance that can be achieved.
But it's not quite that simple. The more tensions between the US and China build, the more pressure we face to throw our defence force into the ring alongside the US. And the more willing we appear to do that, the more threats we'll face from China. In previous years, China has directly targeted Australia over the South China Sea through its state media, warning us to keep out. It's hard to tell exactly how the battle over the South China Sea will be resolved, but what we do know is this: peace and stability are never guarantees, and Australia can never fully keep clear of the conflict.